Sa Sishat. Yeah.
Sa Sishat.
So we were suggesting that we might do a little series of workshops, discussions on Srimad Upadeshamrita. It has a very, very nice book. Oh, and I will do like every 2 weeks, once every fortnight. And then other speakers. Like one nice friend, that's devotee, Srinath Krishnadas, who's been our student in some ways, can also present. But Prabhupada says, if you want to preach, then you can read my books. Well, we can read them and then present the ideas to others. We can just read them. Devotees just go out in public place and sit down and start reading Prabhupada's books on the beach. And sure enough, people start coming and sitting there every day to listen. They may not talk with you, but they come and they listen. Okay. So somebody's microphone's open there. There's a little bit of noise in the background. So I guess you can see we have a PowerPoint show that we did, maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And I think this is the promotional PowerPoint show. And you see a picture of Rupa Goswami there with his laptop. Laptops are nothing new. And he has a stylus. Yeah. And then he's so absorbed in his work that Srimati Radharani is bringing him the tiffin on the pathway there. And up in the tree is a monkey waiting to take the manuscripts off of the BBT so they can be printed like that. So we identify with the monkey in the tree ourselves. So if you chant all the texts of Upadeshamrita, 11 texts, it takes about 3 minutes. And so one time we visited Oxford just for one night. We were in transit, and they wanted to organize a little academic program. So this is the title we came up with for the poster. And it had this very kind of mystical picture of Rupa Goswami. Then it had this 3 minutes with a genius. Okay, it's attractive, especially with this kind of academic intellectual community. And then we have basically this PowerPoint show, I think, does the same thing as the text we had in the poster. But this is a promotion. This is, we attract everybody. Okay. And you see the next slide. Okay. Can you see the slide? I'll make sure it's advancing there. Hello? Nobody was talking?
Yes, Maharaj. We can see it.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay.
Yeah, Maharaj, we can see this.
Okay. Srila Rupa Goswami and his followers dominated the world of 16th century Indian metaphysics. Now, this is a promotional thing. He was a member of the highly elevated Sarasvat Brahmin community. Along with his brothers, he became Prime Minister of Bengal under the government of the Muslim conqueror, Nawab Hussain Shah. And here we have a map of India. And of course, right away, that's exotic and it's interesting to people. Everybody wants to see something interesting new. Of course, there is Calcutta and Bengal. Okay. And it says here, there is no place in the world now as rich as Bengal was at that time. Silk, gold, jewels, spices, medical and political science, architecture. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. They were the masters of all these things, but still they were not happy. So they left it all to become renunciants. and followers of the great Bengali monk and saint, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. So we're walking around in sannyasi vesh, dressed as sannyasis, and you can also dress in Indian clothes if people attracting or something. Govindapal, book distributor in Los Angeles, he would go out and rehearsed in a more ordinary dress, maybe like Indian pants and paper. But he had a button size, and it said, "Ask me about Krishna." And people would ask him. Yeah. So who are you? What are you? Well, sometimes I answer. Well, the Harvard School of Divinity would call us Bengali or Chaitanya Vaishnavas. Oh, Bengal tigers. And then they hear the name Chaitanya. But in the 1960s, the New York Times called us the Hare Krishna movement. Yeah. Okay, so Bengal. So they left it all to become renunciates and followers of the great Bengali monk and Saint Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was preaching an ecstatic congregation of chanting of the names of God as the most excellent method of self-realization in this current age of Kali. When I say that, I think serious Jewish people, serious Muslim people, they have these things in their own traditions. Well, I appreciate it. Okay. He not only preached this process with philosophical logic, but also demonstrated it as he traveled all over India, chanting and dancing an emotional love of God. So when Prabhupada came to the Rath Yatra, maybe it was the first one I went to, maybe the second one like that. And it started at the edge of Golden Gate Park, which is so big, so beautiful. Prabhupada liked it. And they had, I think they had 3 carts. They weren't very big. Jayananda used these big telephone cable spools, compounded them to make the wheels, and he was a mechanical engineer. And so Prabhupada was standing on the back of one of the carts, and there were nice trees and shade over him, and all the devotees and people coming were standing there, and two television cameras, big cameras were going. He made a very, very nice speech about the festival and what it was. And he finished and he said, I remember he said, "So, all of you people of San Francisco, come once a year and join the devotees in chanting and dancing an emotional love of God, and your whole city will become Vaikuntha." Yeah. And so there's that phrase, chanting and dancing an emotional love of God. He then empowered Rupa Goswami to explain this culture on the basis of Vedic scripture. Rupa Goswami wrote over 11,000 verses in 18 major works and presented a summary of everything in 11 verses. His Sri Upadeshamrita, the essence of all wisdom. Join us now as we spend 3 minutes with a genius, the Upadeshamrita of Rupa Goswami, the nectar of instruction of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Okay, so that's all. We have 2 PowerPoint shows today. That's the first one. And this you can set up a table someplace, like in a university or someplace where you have cultural possibilities, your workplace, whatever it is. And then of course you can run these PowerPoint shows as kiosks. And it's sitting there running, and you're talking to one person and somebody else comes over and they watch this. And they're looking at this and looking at the literature. And it was very attractive. You got a nice kiosk going with a promotional thing. Oh, 3 minutes with a genius. Yeah. Prabhupada says it's more important that people are enthused to ask questions and hear more than it is to communicate information. Of course, they're related, but the main thing is that if we give a class And then people don't ask any questions or any comments. Oh, well, okay. Or they don't come back again. Yeah. But rather they've got some information. Better is we're bhakti, trying to inspire bhakti more than jnana. So any comments at this point? Any questions, or should we wait till the end? Should we do?
Well, we can wait till end, Maharaj, and just get present.
Okay. Okay, so now close this somehow or other. I think, so close that. Okay. Now I got to start sharing again. Where's the other one? There it is. Share. Okay, can you see the next PowerPoint show?
Yes, Maharaj.
3 minutes with a genius. This is such a nice picture of Prabhupada. He looks so, so sober. I think this might have been when he first came, even in Butler, Pennsylvania. 3 minutes with a genius. Humble illuminations of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's Nectar of Instruction. A summary study of the Upadeshamrita of Srila Rupa Goswami. Part 1. Preface and summary. Anjana Sudha Academy, jayarama.us. And that's our webpage. It's very easy to remember. jayarama.us. United Snakes of America. Okay. Writer's Guide. If you go to a writer's guide, so many of those, and they'll tell you what's in the preface of a book. So Srila Prabhupada has prefaces to all of his books. So what should be in there? Well, of course, the introduction introduces the content. Introduces the content. That's different than the preface. The preface is usually supposed to include these 4 things. Okay. What is the purpose of the book? Okay. Why is it being written? That's good to know. What are the qualifications of the author? Okay, that's very important to know. What qualifications are expected of the reader? The preface should also include under what circumstances the book was written. We take the first canto of the Bhagavatam as a preface. It tells us the purpose of the book. Well, where do we start here? It tells us that the circumstances are that Maharaj, the Pareksha, has been cursed to die within 7 days. And this is a symptom of the Kali Yuga. And of course, the Kali Yuga can progress because the circumstance is that Krishna has left. So now that Krishna is left, now we need a new incarnation. So the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam is to have Krishna present as a literary incarnation. In the first canto, there's a whole history of Sukadeva Goswami, how he received Srimad Bhagavatam in the womb of his mother, how he was going places without any bodily concept of life. And there's also the qualifications of Maharaj Pareksha, and how he also saw Krishna before he was born. Yeah. And so that's all the first canto. Now in the second canto, we're quite ready to hear Sukadeva Goswami preaching to Maharaj Pareksha. Those perspectives. You know the purpose of the book, you know the qualifications of the author, you know the qualifications expected of the reader, and under what circumstance the book was written. So here's your homework assignment. Look at the preface of the Upadeshamrita. Maybe Srinath Krishna next week he can ask people for their answers. Does the preface of Prabhupada's Upadeshamrita satisfy all these requirements? Okay. Do you find those in the preface? The preface of Nectar of Instruction is actually both a preface and an introduction, because it's very short. Actually, the preface is only, I think, like maybe two and a half pages or 1.5 pages, like that. So like if it was a preface, it would be like half a page, 1 page, and the introduction 1 page. So at some point, you have to see where the preface stops and basically an introduction starts. Okay, basically an introduction starts. It's very nice. These things are there for a certain purpose, and we should appreciate them consciously, what it is, and not take it to heart. Why is this book being written? Who is it for? And then Prabhupada introduces the material. What does it introduce? Okay. What do you see? You see our little man there? Yes, we see the little man. This is the homunculus. This is how your body is represented on your brain. You see, there's so much representation for the fingers, the tongue, the mouth, the lips. Not much for the arms, the legs. Yeah, if you touch something with your fingers, so much detail. Yeah. So what does it introduce? It introduces this little man. How many people or groups of people are mentioned in the preface? How many people or groups of people are mentioned in the preface? Can you list them in a hierarchy? Okay, you can discuss this next week. Okay. We hope our answers are satisfactory. If they're not, we'll twist your head off. Okay. Having a gorilla for a teacher. Okay. So they're not in this order, but they're all there. There's Krishna, Radharani, Gopis, Lord Chaitanya, Rupa Goswami, 6 Goswamis, Narottam Das, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and us. So what do you see about this? It's a parampara, right? Krishna to Radha, Radha to the Gopis, Gopis to Lord Chaitanya, Rupa Goswami, Lord Chaitanya to Rupa Goswami to the 6 Goswami. The Narottam is following them, and all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas are following on both sides. So this is how this knowledge is coming. This is Prabhupada's qualification. This is our qualification. Parampara, guru to disciple. One time, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was sending his new sannyasis out to preach. And he said, everybody you meet is going to be more pious than you, more intelligent, more cultured, more opulent than you are. In every respect, they're going to be superior to you. The only thing you have to offer them is the words of your spiritual mouth. Summary. Okay, that's the preface. Now let's look at the summary of the entire book. How many verses are there in the book? 11. Thank you, Monkey Onocito. But before we look at each text, let's first summarize the whole treatise. It is divided in different groups. We see different groups. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has an excellent song that does this. Vaishnava Thakur. I was singing it there. It is one of several songs that he has on Nectar of Instruction. Of course, this is in our ISKCON songbook, but it's from Gitabali, I think. And if you look back, there's like maybe 3 more songs he has about Upadeshamrita. Oh, hey, Vaishnava Thakur Doyar Sagar Edase Koruna Kori. Diya Parachaya Shodoheya Maya Tomara Stachana Dori. By Chaya Vega Domi. Chaya dosha shodi, chaya guna dehodase. So very clearly, he's going through the text. Okay. Sing it, discuss it. Okay. So we should start including it. We should remember by the time we finish this seminar, we should all know that song. It's so nice. Text 1 defines devotional service. Engage the senses in the service of the master of the senses. Yeah. Text 1 defines devotional service. Engaging the senses in the service of the master of the senses. Purification. Text 2 and 3 give things that will help that, or hinder this. Text 2 then goes into 6 things that'll make it very difficult. achara, parasascha, engaging in talking all kinds of nonsense, over-collecting, overeating, meditating on over-collecting and overeating. And text 3 then gives six things that'll make it very easy. Utsahan, nishchayad, dayat, tata, karma, pravartahat, keeping your enthusiasm, being patient, and being determined. Utsahan, nishchayad, dayat, and giving up the association of non-devotees. So text 1 says engage your senses, and text 2 and 3 then tell you things that'll make it difficult or make it easy. Text 4, 5, 6 discuss association with Vaishnavas. Text 4 is what is association? Is buying something from somebody associating with them? No, that's not. But confidentially talking with them about things that touch your heart, exchanging food with them, giving and receiving gifts that touch the heart. Those 6 things are how we associate with people in general. And specifically, text 5 talks about how to apply those 6 exchanges with devotees. Some karmi person, they'll invite their near and dear ones to pass Diwali or Christmas with them. And of course, there'll be special food being exchanged, special gifts. Oh, I bought this bottle of Johnny Walker Black Label, Red Label for you. Oh, you touched my heart. The devotees will exchange, Mahaprasada, things like that, and talk about things confidentially. So, and text number 6 specifically talks about how to associate with the first class devotee in more detail. And that's what we're looking for. Taking the association of Srila Prabhupada, taking the association of other Uttamadhikaris. There are 2 principal topics in Nectar of Instruction: association and process. Of the 2, association is primary. One time, Jayananda, when I was brahmachari in the temple in San Francisco, so many brahmacharis there, 455 Valencia Street. He said, Krishna consciousness is eating and sleeping in the best of company. Eat nothing but prasadam and sleep in the brahmachari ashram, and you'll have no problems. Of course, I guess we can also have brahmachari on, but we did. So because everybody else is getting up at 4 o'clock, you get up at 4 o'clock. Everybody else is chatting on the bees, you chat on the bees. So they're both important, Sangha and Vaidhi. 7 and 8 discuss the process. For every technique process in the Ashtanga Yoga system, there is a corresponding technique in the Bhakti Yoga system. So here we see some yogi who's probably very proud of his cleanliness, austerity, like that, doing his asanas. But we accomplish the same thing by singing and dancing. If you're doing it properly, singing properly, then automatically you start clapping, you start, picking up the rhythm, and then your feet start moving, you start dancing. And you start eventually singing with an open throat in front of the deities or other devotees who are stimulated, more advanced and guiding, stimulating you. And so there's all the different knots in the body, knots in the throat, knots in the shoulders, knots in the posture. They start coming out. So then we can do pranayama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara. We start withdrawing our consciousness from the external aspect of the kirtan. And now we try and engage the drum, the rhythm, the melody with some meaning. And then pratyahara, we're coming out of the gross thing and moving back to our mind. So that we're chanting with our mind involved. Okay, so 7 and 8 are the process. Chant japa, sankirtan, worship the deity, read the Krishna book. Nama, how's it going? Nama, Rupa, Charitade Sukirtana Nushmito Pamena Rasa Ramanasa Yoja Nama Japa Sankirtan Rupa, the deities, Nama Rupa Charitadi, and there's the Krishna book, Lila, like that. That's our basic yoga. And we should be doing some japa according to Prabhupada's system. We should be doing Sankirtan every day. We should be worshiping the deity according to our position. Then we should be reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's character. Yeah. This is good for both liberation, that's text number 7, and spiritual advancement. Raganuga Bhakti, that's text number 8. Okay. So, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan. Text 9 discusses spiritual geography, roadmap of the spiritual sky. And we go Vaikunta Janito Vara Madhupari Tatrapi Govardhana Radha Kundami Hapi Gopulapate Premamdata Plavana. Mathura Mandala is superior to Vaikunta, the kingdom of God, and more intense than Mathura in general, with forest, Radhashakanam, Vrindavan. And even more intense than those is Govardhana, and the most intense is Radha. So such a very, very nice place. And this is follow text number 8, Raganuga Bhakti. Then we should follow engage in this Raganuga Bhakti and Vrindavan. Text number 9 is where to engage in this bhakti. Text 10 returns to association from the most abominable to the most desirable. Radha Krishna and Radha Krishna. Karmedya Parito Hare Priyataya Vyakim Jayajyaminas Yani Vimukta Bhakti Purana Pramai Pramai Tevyasta Pasupala Pantaja Vishat Kabyo Pisa Varita Kukindam Jasya Muni Viravita Stada Viva Vyaya. So he starts off talking about karmis, and the purport probably goes back to vikarmis. Vikarmis do any old damn thing to get what they want. Karmis do the things that are offered in the scripture to get what they want. And therefore they acquire wisdom. They become jnanis. As their jnana increases, they become vimukti jnanis. And they become bhaktas, and they become braja bhaktas, and they become gopis. So every single kind of association is right there in text number 10. Summary of our summary. Okay. Engage the senses in Krishna's service. 2 and 3, things that hinder, things that help. 4, 5, 6, association, the magic. 7 and 8, the process, also magic. 9, where to practice the process. 10, summary of all association. 11, culminating in Radha Kund and the association of Radharani, which is where and who. Okay. Let's look at text number 1. And here is our little homunculus guy. Tongue, belly, and genitals. So I think that's our little conclusion here. So any questions or comments? Yeah. These are PowerPoint shows from 20 years ago. Which we can make it, we should try and make these available. If we get enough requests, we'll put them on our webpage, in our archives, if they're not already there. But you can use them.
Hi Krishna Maharajji, thank you so much Maharajji for a very nectarian session. So I request to everyone, if you have any question, any realization, so please raise your hands and feel free to ask to Maharajji. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Hari Lila Prabhuji, do you want to share something? Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, very nice presentation Maharaj as usual. Before we take questions, I think Maharaj can finish text 1 if possible, and then we can open up the session for the question answer. Is it-
Let's not do text 1 today.
Okay.
We
So-
did the preface, and we did an overview of the entire book, and we did a promotion. That's enough enough work.
Okay. So next Tuesday we'll begin from text 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Srinath can do what he
Yes.
wants. I'll try and attend as a student next week.
Yes, Maharaj. So at this point, then we will request the devotees if they have any questions or any realization, any reflection, comment, questions, please raise your hand so we can take you one by one. Hare Krishna. Seems everyone is satisfied with your presentation.
Everyone is thunderstruck and dumbfounded. Yeah, I also have a donkey also.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj Dandavat Pranam, Guru Maharaj Dandavat Pranam,
Hare Krishna.
Devendra Krishna Das, Houston.
So nice to hear from you.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Maharaj, just a simple question, maybe the dumb question.
Oh, good.
So suppose on Friday evening, like normally we have the Bhakti Varsha, means like everywhere normally Friday or Saturday, and at and if the same time there is an initiation ceremony at the temple, so which one we should prefer it, where we should go?
That's a problem, right? Yeah. But I can only tell you that you're gonna you think you got problems, but Mother Yashoda's problem is just so much worse. Yeah. Mother Yashoda is giving her personal milk to baby Krishna. Okay. And simultaneously, the milk from the selected cows starts to boil over on the stove. So which service should Mother Yashoda do? And so that's the point, is that the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, which puts us in touch with Krishna, is good both for liberation, text number 7, and then for understanding how to negotiate the spiritual world, which can be it's unlimited. The gopis and Krishna are coming up with more and more subtle things about which service. Chandravali has one kind of idea about how to serve Krishna, Radha has another. So in the purport to that Leela, for Mother Yashoda's dilemma, Prabhupada says, a devotee in this devotional service is always being confronted with these different options for service. And he says, if the devotee is sincere, Tasmat Sarvishu Kali Shrumat, Tasmat, then Krishna from within the heart, Tesham Satata Yuktanam, sincere, Vachatam Priti Purvakam, sincere, Tadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. He gives the intelligence about how to link with him. And how? Tesham Edunukam Partam Agya. Yeah, from within the heart. So sometimes we can see, for example, if we have an opportunity to go into the kitchen and cook or work on some business programs, but it's time for Mangal Arti. Well, yeah, we know we should go to Mangal Arti. We should do the business during other times. So some of the things are in the scriptures, the basic things are in the scriptures. But what you're describing, for example, if you're the priest for the initiation ceremony, well, you should go to the temple. That's kind of obvious. Or if it's your best friend, then you can invite all of your people from your Bhakti Pareksha program or something. Hey, let's go. Right now, for example, it's time for the Nilamata for Radhanath program here in Nashville. But then everybody's coming a half an hour earlier and joining us here. So nice. All of our friends are here. And so, 3 things. Chant Hare Krishna, look for inspiration. Okay. Next thing, Prabhupada's books. Reading Prabhupada's books will give you good advice. And okay, And many details start to show up if you keep on reading. You learn details. And the third thing is, then you consult with devotees. It's an important thing. You talk with devotees about it. But basically, get channeling Krishna, and then you're always going to have some kind of choices to make. Does that help?
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Babuji. Thank you, Maharajji. Tirath Prabhu, do you have any question? Okay. Anybody have any
Okay,
question?
yeah. Hari Bol, Prabhu. I don't know some pronunciation, some different or something. I could not make it very clearly, but still everything was common, names and incidents and all that. So the pravachan is very, very, very nice, and I'm grateful for your this help to give us the pravachan, and I'm grateful. Hari Bol Prabhu. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. You've
Thank
taken very, very fortunate birth in Bharata.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Mera Bharat Mahan hai.
Yeah.
Very important.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Maharajji. Bhakti Pant Mataji, do you have any question?
Actually, yesterday in another class, I asked a question other than the topic. So he was annoyed. I'm afraid if I'll put that question, will it be
Oh,
good
yeah.
or not?
I mean, I guess so. I can always, run away.
See, I want to, actually, we are nowadays reading and listening about Bhagavatam canto, 3rd canto, 14th chapter, and in that Rudra, I'm not clear about Rudra. Can you please explain that?
Well, if you want to become clear about Rudra, we can talk for 6 or 7 days like that. But in the 3rd canto, I think it's describing how Lord Brahma, wants to. He's given the job, of developing the prison, all the structure, the walls, the cells, the kitchen, the educational facilities. That's Lord Brahma's job. Mahavishnu gives all the walls and the basic thing, but then Lord Brahma is supposed to, create all the interior parts. And he needs help. He needs to create bodies for everybody. So then, in his process, out of his, he asked the Kumaras, his first sons, "Hey, I want you to get married and produce children." And they say, "We're not going to get married. We're going to stay brahmachari." And he becomes angry. Okay, Brahma. And so out of his third eye or something, Lord Shiva manifests, Rudra, and he's an incarnation of he's the Yuga avatar of Tamagun. Lord Brahma is the Yuga avatar of Rajagun, and Lord Vishnu, Paramatma, is the Yuga avatar. I said Yuga avatar, the Guna avatar of Sattvagun. One very, very nice understanding of Lord Shiva is that he's the functional, material incarnation of Krishna. People in the material world are minds, and even if you take birth in Bharata, your mind is full of selfish ideas and greedy things and thinking bad things about people and lusty things and angry things. Oh, and what to speak if you take birth in the Western countries, or you start to live in these Western countries. So many crazy things. You're surrounded by people butchering innocent animals and killing things and drinking whiskey and every place advertising these things, and everybody dressing in all these, stimulating sexual fashions. It's just terrible. So this is no place for gopis, gopis and manjaris, and Krishna and his friends. So to deal with this, Krishna incarnates, and he incarnates as Lord Shiva. So Shiva is the functional, material incarnation of Krishna. It's like if you want to play with a kitty cat, you take a piece of yarn and you bounce it up and down, and the kitty cat snags it with its nails. If you're using your hand, you're going to get your hand scratched. So that's Lord Shiva. He's Krishna, but Krishna as Krishna deals with these very crazy things. So does that help?
Thank you very much, sir. I'm grateful
Okay.
to you.
I'm
Hare
grateful to you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please do some humble obeisance, Maharaj. Thank you for your class. Jai. Yeah, you were mentioning the part that you were last speaking about the tongue, belly, and genitals. I thought about Jitendriya Prabhu, who still does maintenance in Kishore Chicago Temple. And many years ago, he told me early in my Krishna consciousness, I was serving with him, and he said, yes, material society is mostly run by the tongue, belly, and genitals, TBs and Gs. And I continue to use that line whenever I meet someone new somewhere, if I'm working somewhere. I'll tell them that society is run by the TBs and Gs, tongue, belly, and genitals.
Yeah.
And they it blows their mind, and they start to think, and they
Yep,
say, "Oh,
yep.
wow, that really makes sense." So I just wanted to comment that. So,
No,
thank you.
Prabhupada says the material life is it was not an najanam hasibadim. It's flowery, poetical glorification of tongue, belly, and genitals. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is. So the kavitam, yeah, described in very, very nice ways. What if all the movies, all the advertisements, everything else are just, they're describing these three things, but they put it in such like flowery, beautiful, glamorous fashions. And even Shakespeare, so much of Shakespeare is what, talking about this Romeo and Juliet. Yeah. They didn't want to become devotees.
Yeah, thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you. Travel everywhere with your guitar like Narada Muni.
Maharaj, there is 2 questions in a chat box. One, Prabhuji asks, what is the link between the nectar of instruction and devotion?
Okay. To our perspective, the nectar of instruction is a summary. In 11 verses, you find it covers everything that the nectar of devotion covers. In the preface of Nectar of Devotion, text number 1.1.11, it's easy to remember, 1.1.11, Anyavilasita Shunyam Gyana Karmani Navitam. This is the Paribhasa Sutra of Nectar of Devotion. The whole thing is based on that one verse. When you study it, it'll take you about a week to unpack that whole verse. It's so concentrated, so precise. But the next verse, 1.1.12, is Sarvapadi Vinirmuktam Parat Nirmalam Rishikesha Rishikena Sevanam Bhaktir Uchate. So it's exactly the same as the first verse of Upadeshamrita. And Prabhupada in the purport even says that. Rupa Goswami is giving us this process of engaging the senses. Text doesn't exactly say that, but that's it. Yeah. You control your tongue by taking prasadam. Control your sexual activities by, having nice children. Okay, So the Upadeshamrita, and if we go on, I see again and again that, it goes back and forth. In the purports, you'll find the same thing that's being mentioned later on in Nectar of Devotion is back there in Upadeshamrita and the purports and so on. The Nectar of Instruction is little brother. Nectar of Devotion is a complete science. And Vidagdha Madhava and Lalita Madhava are a demonstration of how to apply it in dramas. And that's it.
Thank you, Maharaji. Maharaji, there is one more question of one Mataji, similar question. She asked, in Tava Pache Pache, Maharaji wrote that NOI and NOD have many similarities. Then why weren't they combined into one book?
They have many similarities, or what?
She said, in Tava Pache Pache, Maharaj ji wrote that NOI and NOD have many similarities. Then why weren't they combined into one book?
Oh, again, same thing, yeah, because Nectar of Instruction is the extract, it's the summary. Yeah. So just within 11 verses, there's a whole idea, whole perspective. We've given classes where people are Nectar of Instruction, where people are kind of bored, first time coming, but nice Catholic people in South America. And okay, they're kind of bored. We go through the first text and all the way up. But finally, when we come to conjugal love of God, then they wake up and they say, wow, yeah, okay, that's also discussed in a very esoteric sense in Christianity. And can you talk about that more? And so different people are on different levels. Some people, different religious people, Muslims, Christians, whatever, they have their own way of, Stanga yogis of controlling their senses, associating, they understand that. And then they understand by Kunta. And maybe then what else? Okay, then so Nectar of Instruction. Prabhupada says it's first work. Well, yeah, because it's covering everything. If you look at the purports to the last verse number 9 and 11, very short. Because what can you say about them? They're so advanced. And that's basically all it says. These are very advanced. So yeah, the Nectar of Instruction is a summary and takes us to the whole thing very as an overview, and different people will see where they're at. And the Nectar of Devotion is the complete science. And then Rupa Goswami wanted to write more about Madhurya Ras, so he directly says that Ujjvala Nilamani is just a continuation of Nectar of Devotion, with the Madhurya Ras and those relationships. Okay? Practicing my emos.
Thank you so much, Maharaj ji. So there is no more hand raise as well as no question in the chat box also. So thank you so much, Maharaj ji, for a very nectarian session as well as the question answer session also.
Okay,
So
and we hope to see you soon in Goloka. Also, again, just one moment, we'll all be in Goloka together.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Srinath Krishnadas joined lately. Prabhuji, do you have some comment or questions?
Krishna. Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Prabhupada. No, I don't really have any comments.
Okay.
I'm sorry I joined late. We have Tamal Krishna Maharaj Vyas Puja tomorrow. So preparation is going on.
Yeah. Okay, so next week you can carry it forward.
Yes. It's a tough act to follow, but I'll try.
Anybody have any last question or comment before we close this session? Okay, so thank you, Maharaj, for your kind mercy on us. Give us a nectar of instruction. It's so nice. Thank you, Maharaj. And we hope to continue this NOI series till the whole book finishes. We have 11 verses to go. And next week, His Grace Srinath Krishnadas Prabhu will begin with text number 1, which is Vacho Vegam. And then the following Tuesday, again, Maharaj will come. So they will be alternating for Nectar of Instruction to give us the nectar from Nectar of Instruction. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna, for joining, everybody. So, Mataji, we can close the call at this point here.
Yes, Babuji. Vancha kalptarubhasya kapa sindhu bhaivacha patita naam pavnibhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namo. Vaishnav Vrind ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Holiness Hanumant Pareksha Maharaj ji ki jai, sabhi bhakton ki jai. Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for everyone. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. See you by next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.